Welcome to Feel Fluent English, where stories help us grow. Some battles are fought in silence. Some fears don't stop you from moving forward, they stop you from speaking. And sometimes the greatest courage isn't doing something bold, it's finding the strength to use your own voice. Stay with this story because what it reveals may change how you see yourself.
My name is Daniel Carter. I'm 32 years old, and I live in Riverside City, a bustling place where everyone seems to have a voice, everyone except me. I work as a project analyst at a mid-sized marketing firm, and on the outside, I look confident. I wear crisp shirts, polished shoes, and I sit in meetings as if I belong there. People say I'm intelligent, calm, and capable. They even ask for my opinion sometimes. But the truth is very different. Inside, I often keep my thoughts to myself. I have ideas, solutions, even clever observations, but I rarely share them. I spend most meetings rehearsing sentences in my head. Say this. No, that sounds obvious. Maybe later. By the time the moment passes, someone else has said what I was thinking, and I stay silent. I wasn't always like this. As a child, I loved talking, explaining, and dreaming out loud. Teachers once said I was smart and curious. Then one day, in school, everything changed. The teacher asked a question. I raised my hand eagerly and answered, confident, hopeful. I was wrong. The class laughed. The teacher corrected me sharply and said, "You should think before speaking." That single moment stayed with me. From then on, I learned a dangerous lesson. Silence is safer than embarrassment. So I stopped raising my hand. I stopped sharing my ideas. And slowly, over the years, that silence became a habit, one that followed me into adulthood. One afternoon at work, I noticed a mistake in an important project report. It was small, but serious enough to cost us a client. I knew exactly what was wrong. I knew how to fix it. But the meeting was almost over. It's probably nothing, I told myself. Someone else will notice. I stayed silent. No one noticed. 2 weeks later, the client pulled out. The manager was furious. Everyone worked late nights to fix the damage. That evening, I sat alone at my desk, staring at the report. I knew, I thought. I knew, and I said nothing. For the first time, silence didn't feel safe. It felt heavy. It felt responsible. A few days later, my younger sister called me. "I'm thinking of quitting my job. I hate it there, but I'm scared." I had advice, real advice. I had lived this fear myself, but I had been holding back. "Do what you think is right," I said carefully. She quit without a plan. Months later, she struggled badly. One night, she cried and said, "I wish someone had warned me." I closed my eyes. I should have shared my thoughts. One rainy evening, exhausted and confused, I took a longer route home and stepped into a small cafe. Inside, an old man stood at the counter, struggling to explain his order. His thoughts were clear, but his words came out slowly. The young waiter looked impatient. People behind him sighed. I watched. My chest tightened. "Speak," my heart said. "Stay quiet," fear replied. The old man struggled again. This time, I didn't overthink it. "He wants tea," I said calmly. "No sugar." The cafe went quiet for a moment. The waiter nodded and moved on. The old man turned to me and smiled. "Thank you, son. My thoughts are clear, but my words don't always come out." That sentence stayed with me. That night, I couldn't sleep. The classroom laughter, the lost client, my sister's tears, the old man's smile. One truth became painfully clear. The next morning, I realized I couldn't keep my thoughts to myself anymore.
If I stayed silent, nothing would change. I needed to speak, even in small ways, to be part of what was happening around me. Confidence, I realized, isn't about being right every time. It isn't about having perfect answers or never making mistakes. It's about giving yourself a chance to speak, even in small ways. The next morning, I started small. Day 1, I spoke up at work. I noticed something in the report, I said, my voice calm but measured. Nothing bad happened. No one laughed. No one criticized. By day 3, I tried again in a meeting. I think this approach might not work, and here's why, I said. People listened. One colleague even asked a follow-up question. By day 10, I could explain a small idea clearly. Here's how I think we could handle this project, I said, my words flowing more naturally. It wasn't sudden. It wasn't perfect. Some days I still said too little. Some days I hesitated. But every time I shared my thoughts, I felt a little braver, a little more capable, a little more myself. Step by step, my confidence grew, not loud or flashy, but steady and real. Weeks later, during an important presentation, the projector failed. Panic spread across the room. All eyes turned to me. The old me would have stayed silent. This time, I stood up and said, I can explain it without the slides. And I did. When the meeting ended, my manager said, "You've changed, Daniel." I smiled, not nervously, not apologetically. "Yes," I said, "I finally stopped keeping my thoughts to myself." Confidence isn't built in one brave moment. It's built when you realize your thoughts and ideas matter. When you speak, even in small ways, you begin to be part of what's happening around you. I didn't become loud. I didn't become perfect. I became present. I became honest. And sometimes, that's all confidence really is.
Let's enhance our vocabularies used in the story. Bustling, full of busy activity and movement. The marketplace was bustling with people and noise. Polished, neat, professional, and well prepared. She gave a polished presentation during the meeting. Rehearsing, practicing something repeatedly in the mind or aloud. He kept rehearsing his answer before speaking. Eagerly, with excitement and strong interest. The child eagerly raised his hand to answer the question. Sharply, in a strict, harsh, or sudden manner. The teacher sharply corrected the student. Embarrassment, a feeling of shame or self-consciousness. He avoided speaking to escape embarrassment. Furious, extremely angry. The manager was furious about the mistake. Struggled, tried hard but found something difficult. The old man struggled to explain his order. Hesitated, paused because of doubt or fear. She hesitated before sharing her opinion. Projector, a device that shows images or slides on a screen. The projector stopped working during the presentation.
Hey friends! Today we have a fun quiz inspired by the story. I have some story-inspired English questions for you. And don't worry, just pick the correct answer and write in the comments below. Let's see how many you get right. 1. Daniel works in blank marketing firm. A, B, N, C, the, D, no article. 2. Daniel noticed blank mistake in the report. A, B, N, C, the, D, no article. 3. Daniel blank his ideas during meetings. A, hide, B, hides, C, hiding, D, hid. 4. The client blank the project after the mistake. A. Pull. B. Pulls. C. Pulled. D. Pulling. 5. Daniel blank more confident slowly. A. Become. B. Becomes. C. Became. D. Becoming. Great job, friends! How many did you get right? Comment your score below. Remember, practicing English through stories helps you learn vocabulary, grammar, and emotions all at once. If you enjoyed this quiz, like, share, and subscribe for more story-based English practice. See you in the next one.